If you thought everything was calm in Golden State, think again. Because what I'm about to tell you might completely change the direction of this franchise. There's smoke, there's whispers, there's frustration. And when frustration starts leaking out of one of the most experienced locker rooms in the NBA, you know something serious is happening. The Golden State Warriors, the dynasty that defined an era, might be facing internal tension that could lead to a shocking blockbuster move. And no, this isn't just another rumor floating around social media for clicks. This feels different. This feels real. Over the past few weeks, something has shifted inside that locker room. You can see it in the body language. You can feel it in post-game interviews. You can sense it in the way certain players avoid eye contact when questions get uncomfortable. Golden State isn't just losing games. They're losing rhythm. They're losing chemistry. And maybe, just maybe, they're losing patience with each other. For years, this core was untouchable, built on trust, built on sacrifice, built on championships. But time changes everything. Age changes everything. Expectations change everything. And when expectations don't match reality, tension builds. Let's talk about what's really going on. Stephen Curry, the heart, the soul, the engine of this franchise, is still playing at an elite level. Every night he steps on the court, he gives everything, but even legends get tired of carrying the weight alone. You can see it when he walks back to the bench. You can see it when a defensive breakdown happens for the 5th time in one quarter. You can see it when open shots are missed and possessions fall apart. He doesn't scream. He doesn't throw teammates under the bus. But frustration doesn't need volume to be loud. Then there's Draymond Green, the emotional leader, the vocal commander. When things are good, his fire fuels the team. But when things go bad, that same fire can burn. Sources close to the team suggest that heated exchanges have become more frequent. Competitive? Yes. But lately, more personal, more tense. This isn't 2016 anymore. This isn't a young, hungry group climbing to the top. This is a veteran team trying to hold on to greatness while younger, faster, hungrier teams are circling. And inside that locker room, questions are being asked. Hard questions. Is this roster enough? Is the supporting cast reliable? Are the young players developing fast enough? Is the front office doing enough to maximize Curry's final prime years? And when those questions don't have immediate answers, tension grows. Some insiders are hinting that there's a divide. Not a war, not a toxic collapse, but a philosophical split. Win now at all costs? Or balance the future with the present? Because here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Golden State is stuck between two timelines. On one side, you have Curry and Draymond, legends who deserve one more serious championship push. On the other side, you have developing players who represent the future, assets that could either become stars or become trade chips. And that's where things get explosive. There are rumblings that certain veterans feel the urgency isn't being matched by management. That patience might be costing them precious seasons. And in the NBA, seasons are currency. You don't waste them. Every game lost because of inconsistency feels heavier when your superstar is in his mid-30s. Every close loss feels like a reminder that time doesn't wait. And here's where it gets really interesting. There are whispers, strong whispers, that a blockbuster move is being discussed behind closed doors, not a minor tweak, not a bench rotation adjustment, a real franchise-altering decision. Now imagine this scenario. If the tension continues, if results don't improve, management may feel forced to choose a direction. Do they package young assets for an established star? Do they move a major contract to reset flexibility? Or in the most shocking scenario of all, do they consider breaking up a piece of the championship core? That last option sounds unthinkable, but in the NBA, nothing is permanent. We've seen super teams dissolve overnight. We've seen icons traded when nobody expected it. The Warriors' front office has always been calculated, strategic, cold when necessary. Sentiment doesn't win championships. Talent and timing do. And timing right now feels critical. Because here's another layer to this situation. Around the league, teams are watching. They know Golden State is under pressure. They know Curry's window isn't infinite. And when a franchise feels pressure, rival GMs get aggressive, offers start coming in, hypotheticals turn into real calls. What would it take? Is he available? What if we built a 3-team deal? And once those conversations start, momentum builds fast. Let's not ignore the body language either. In recent games, you've seen moments where communication breaks down defensively. You've seen players hesitate instead of reacting instinctively, something that never used to happen in this system. Golden State's identity was always precision, trust, flow. When players start second-guessing each other, when rotations become unpredictable, when roles feel unstable, the locker room feels it. The tension becomes invisible but powerful. You can almost hear it in the silence between plays. Now let's talk about the mental side. Veterans want clarity. Young players want opportunity. Coaches want balance. Management wants sustainability. But all four don't always align. If a young player misses a defensive assignment, a veteran might see it as a lack of discipline. If a veteran dominates possessions, a young player might see limited growth opportunity. If the coaching staff shortens rotations, development slows. If they expand rotations, consistency suffers. These micro-conflicts don't explode publicly. They simmer until one loss turns into 3, 3 turns into 5. And suddenly, what was once patience becomes urgency. You can sense that urgency building, and fans are starting to feel it too. Social media is buzzing with speculation. Trade machine scenarios are being posted daily. Debates are heating up. Some fans say push all the chips in, trade for another superstar immediately. Others say trust the development, don't mortgage the future. And transitions in the NBA often come with shockwaves. Let's imagine what a blockbuster could look like. A major star requesting out from another franchise. Golden State stepping in with assets. Young talent plus draft capital. They've tasted too much success. They've built too much legacy. Curry isn't wired to coast. Draymond isn't wired to accept mediocrity. And ownership has invested too heavily to drift into irrelevance. So something has to give. Either the tension resolves internally, chemistry clicks, and this becomes the adversity chapter of another championship run, or management pulls the trigger on a move that redefines the roster. And here's the thing that makes this story so gripping. Nobody outside that locker room knows exactly how intense the situation really is, but insiders describe it as competitive frustration at a boiling point. Boiling point. That's not casual. That's not comfortable. That's pressure. And pressure creates action. If you watch closely in the next few games, pay attention to the details. Timeout huddles, bench reactions, post-game comments. Because sometimes the smallest signals reveal the biggest shifts. The NBA moves fast. One trade can change everything. One decision can reset a dynasty. Golden State is standing at a crossroads. Stay patient and risk wasting precious years, or strike boldly and risk the future. That's the tension, because whether it's tomorrow, next week, or before the deadline, something feels like it's coming, and when it hits, the entire league will feel it. Stay locked in. This story is just getting started.